Alright guys, welcome back to the Palmieri Nest. Thank you for stopping by. We love you so much and appreciate you, and I'm just very happy that I get to share my life with you, and hopefully that it helps you in some way or another. So if it does, leave a comment below. I'd love to know. Anyway, so today we are going to talk Vbac. Okay, so I've had a lot of people ask me, well, what's that? So Vbac is short for vaginal birth after C-section. Yeah. So I'm gonna do dishes while we talk because you all know that I have 5 kids and I have to multitask in everything that I do, okay? I had my 4th child a C-section because he was breech, so we waited as long as the doctor felt comfortable, and then we were going to go in for to turn him. There's a name for that, an inversion, I think. And when she went to, we got all set up and prepared for that. When she went to turn him, we did a sonogram, and his hand and his foot was like down there, so she said she could probably try to like lodge that out and then turn them, and it takes like 2 doctors to like physically be on your belly and turn them from the outside. And I just got too nervous for some reason. I was just like I was all set up and everything. Like, you have to be prepared to have like an emergency C-section in case something were to happen during the turn. So I had an IV in, all the doctors were there for the C-section, and I was prepped and everything. But like I said, I got too nervous and I just decided, no, let's not turn him and let's just go ahead with the C-section. I think I was at 39 weeks. Sometimes I think I should have probably just waited like till 41, but my doctor really wasn't too comfortable with waiting too long to do the C-section, and it was ready to go. And personally, I was just over being pregnant too, so I was like, let's just get him out today. We're not gonna turn him, but we're gonna just get him out. So anyway, long story short, I had the C-section. I kind of am happy that I didn't try to turn him. He was 9.8 pounds, my biggest baby. And I just think that he was probably tight in there and not much room to move. It is always possible when they do a version that they could go back to their same position of being breech, and then my doctor wouldn't have tried again, because it's a lot of stress on the baby. It can be. And so anyway, I had a C-section with him. I did not like the recovery. I felt like it was just horrible and long. I think I was in my room for like a week straight while my family, thank God I have a great family, catered to me and took care of all the other little ones that we have. So I really wasn't up for a C-section with baby number 5, the last baby we just had. I was just like, I do not want to have a C-section. I knew I was coming home to soon to be 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and my 2-year-old is really like attached to me, and he loves me to hold him, and he's always on me. So I just was like, I do not want a C-section at all, because I knew what I was coming home to, and if I can avoid it, why wouldn't you, you know? So anyway, where I live, they don't do that. You have to have a C-section once you have a C-section. So I went about an hour away so that I had the opportunity to have a C-section or to have a regular birth. Sorry for the noise. And so that raised a couple different complications for delivery and stuff, but we managed to hurdle through all of those. And we had a successful Vbac with baby number 5. Now, if you're thinking about having a Vbac done, some things they consider, like I had 3 previous normal deliveries before my C-section. I was able to dilate everything went well. So that's stuff that they look at to see if you're a good candidate to have a VBAC after a C-section. So just because you've had a C-section doesn't mean you can have a VBAC. So you have to talk with your doctors and have a consult with them and see if you're a good candidate for a VBAC. Now, if things were to go wrong, I would have had a C-section living an hour away, which would have made things worse for us, but thank God that everything went good and successful with that. So what even kind of a little twist, at the beginning of meeting with my doctors, they had said that they weren't going to do any Pitocin or anything because that would possibly irritate the incision mark of my previous C-section. So that what they normally like to do is have you just go into labor on your own and your water break and all that. Well, being that I lived an hour away, and the weather was really bad. It was like snowing and I was due, I think I was at like 40 weeks. Yeah, 40 weeks. And I was just like, what if we get stuck on the road and I have this baby? I was kind of nervous as to what could happen, being that it was baby number 5. They say that everything comes quicker and quicker the more kids you have, and the weather was really bad, so we just decided to go down and be induced. So they changed their mind. They said having Pitocin would be okay and it shouldn't do too much. So I went ahead and went down there and had Pitocin, and they give it to you like in intervals or something like that. So I was up to number 20, which is I think the highest that they can give you, and was having regular labor and everything. And so I was thankful that that was going well and not causing like a uterine rupture or anything like that. And what else they did was insert a balloon catheter, which would help to stimulate your cervix and make you seem like you're going into labor as well, along with the Pitocin. So that all worked out well. And overall, labor wasn't too long. We checked in on Monday and got things going at around 2 o'clock. So by the following day at 6 in the morning, I was having the baby and everything was going good. So that's my VBAC story. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I would love to try to answer your questions. But yeah, everything went well. One concern I did have that I asked before was like, should I not get the epidural, or should I? I've had really bad problems in the past with epidural, so I was more like, I don't want to. But being that this was a bigger hospital and stuff, I was kind of like, well, maybe they do more and they have more experience, so maybe I should go for it. So I talked to her and just asked, like, would this make like the uterine rupture worse if I couldn't feel it and it was happening? Basically, I was trying to ask her, like, would I be able to feel if I was having a uterine rupture? And she had said no. She had a previous person have one and didn't even know they had one, and she had no meds at all. So with that being said, I chose to do the epidural. I just felt I was going to go without it if it would have helped them to identify that I was having a uterine rupture. Then I would have opted not to have it, because the sooner you can catch something like that, then the better. But she said, no, you don't really always know when you're having one, you know, from her past experience with other patients and stuff. So I went ahead with the epidural, and it was my first one ever that did not give me problems. Every epidural I've ever had, which was, I think, 3, gave me a spinal headache the following day, which means you can't lift your head up off the bed. You have to lay flat, otherwise your head just starts pounding uncontrollably, and you literally like want to die and puke and everything at the same time. So you can't like nurse your baby or anything if you are nursing. That's another success with the whole story, is that my epidural went good and I had no problems with it at all. Versus like at my smaller hospital that I had all my other children at, every epidural I've ever had, I had a spinal headache the following day, which if you know anything about those, then you know that they have to go in and do the same exact procedure to you to get rid of the headache. They call the anesthesiologist and they come back in and they tap you again to seal up that leak that's happening in your spinal cord. So it's not fun, and it just traumatized me so much that my third child I opted to do no meds at all. Like I was just like, no, I want to just get this baby out and I don't want to deal with anything the following day as well. And that one was the most painful child I've ever had. It was baby number 3, my little Joshua. And then baby number 4 was the C-section. And number 5 was natural birth with the epidural. And everything went successful. So yay. Just being in a bigger hospital helped me feel a little bit more confident with them. And I met with like the anesthesiologist before everything. So I felt really confident with her, and we went over my history with the epidural and everything. So yeah, that's my story. Let me know if you have any questions or comments below about a Vbac and how things went. I'd love to answer your questions. So thanks for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and comment below and share it with someone that may be considering to have a Vbac.